Hello, welcome to the card a day in November 2025, day 29 card. I don't know why my post-it notes are all curling up. Maybe it's the snow, who knows. This is Cheryl Smith, Heartland Stamping, and I am here in the St. Louis metro area where we got a pre-Christmas white snow. And it's made for an interesting day, but I'm glad we're here, warm and snug, and ready to share our card with you. This card is day 29, and it features natural tones, poinsettias, pine cones, and elegance. I think I covered all of the bases there. So let's talk a little bit about the card that we're going to make. It's going to be, I think they call, well, a bookbind fold. So this part we're going to score it, and then it'll be opening just a little bit differently. But this one is going to be 4 1/4 by 11, and I score it at 5 1/2 and 6 1/2. And this is out of thick basic white. So that's the card base. Now we're going to have a mat, and this is going to be on the inside. So this is going to be in your interior. It is 4 3/8 by 4 1/8, and that's Pecan Pie. This is also on the inside, and this is going to be for you to decorate or put your saying, write your note. This one's going to be 4 1/8 by 3 7/8. That's just basic white. And then we've got some designer series paper, and this is 7/8 by 4 1/4, and you can see the other side is oh so pretty. It's got a little gold on it, and that is from the Season of Elegance. Yes, Season of Elegance. And we're also going to be using a little bit of gold foil. And so those are the other things that we're going to use. Now I've got a gold hoop. These are really fun to work with. I've done several things. So we're going to set that over here to the side. And let me get a little bit of scrap paper, and we'll do a little stamping so I can show you guys a bit of how this card comes together. So we're going to be using the Delicate Pines bundle, which has some cute little pine cones, and it has some pine cone dies that are a little bit bigger. It's got all these great snowflakes made out of the pine boughs, and it does not have a poinsettia, but technically I think it's supposed to be some kind of snowflake-ish poinsettia, but we're using this, and the stamp, oh, it's here somewhere, but oh, there. Sorry, I had to redo. I usually film in more vertical, and I wanted to do horizontal for this live, and I had to rearrange everything. So this is the little stamp. I know they're hard to see, you guys, on the photopolymer, but when you stamp it, it looks just like this guy right here. And so that's what I decided to use for my card. Some of the dies that come with it have these. I'm sure if you don't have this, you've got some great little pine boughs at home that you could die cut, so I did cut all those out. But let's just play around with some stamping. Now the colors that I used when I was stamping, I did some Granite, I did some Pecan Pie, I did some Crumb Cake. We've got basic beige. I didn't stamp with that, but I did die cut some of that cardstock, and so I tried to keep those tones all in that natural family. So let's go ahead and we'll do a little bit of stamping. We also stamped in Versamark, and then we used some gold embossing powder just to give it that bit of elegance. So let's go ahead and stamp this. And remember, when you stamp with Versamark, just tap gently. If it doesn't ink up enough, you guys need to maybe put a little more re-inker on there, but don't squish that on there, because if you get that Versamark pat on your block and it dries, it's really hard to get off. But use some apple cider vinegar, and that worked pretty good to take it off. So I don't want to forget, and I did earlier, and I had little gold specks everywhere. But we're going to use our embossing buddy to just brush that off. I think with the cold weather and the heater running so much, the static electricity is worse, and that makes that embossing powder stick. Let's see, I see some of my friends are here. Barb Calvin, woo! Barb Calvin from the St. Louis metro area. Hello, I see Kevin is watching. Hello. I think there might be a little residual crumb cake ink on there, but that's okay. We're going to gold emboss over that. And let's get our gold embossing powder. I keep mine in a little plastic container so that, with a little spoon, so that I can just scoop that up and then sprinkle it and then tap it off, and it's right back in there. And that's how I keep it corralled. But look at that. I still managed to get a little bit on my paper. Hold on. Brush that off right away. All right, so we're going to heat set that. Just get our heat tool. Let it warm up a second. And this is where the magic happens, you guys. I love embossing because it really just takes everything up a notch. It's one of my favorite techniques. And if you haven't done it before, don't be scared. Just make sure that you keep that heat tool on there until it goes from feathery and grainy looking to shiny. And once it's shiny, then you know it's done. All right, one of the other stamps that I used was this one. It's another one that has some little pine pieces on it. And we'll stamp that in Pecan right now. And just gently. And you can hum a few bars of your favorite tune while you let that soak in. So there's that one. And then another one that we did, and I'll put that in a different color just so you guys can see some of the different ones. And I re-inked these so they're like super juicy. Remember on these new foam pads, just tap, tap, tap. Just give it a little kiss. You don't want to pinch it. And then this one I believe is gray granite. Yes, this one's gray granite. So you can see I've got some different natural tones there. And I also did a little crumb cake. So we'll do the pine cone in the crumb cake. This one I got so juicy, it's gonna probably make a mess when I stamp, but that's okay. So there we go. Those are some of the main components. And then while we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and you know what? You guys don't have to watch me emboss again. I was going to emboss that, but I went ahead, I embossed it, and we're going to fussy cut that real quick. I'll stack these stamps up over here just in case we need them again. So there are some dies that go with that, and if you guys have, there are so many retired die sets that have pine cones and the pine boughs and the poinsettias. I know you'll find something in your stash where you can make this cute little card. So I have die cut a ton of these things. I die cut some of the poinsettias in just gold foil. I didn't stamp them. And then these are some more leaves. So we're going to just put all of these together. And we do have to score one more thing. I didn't score that 6.5 inch line when I was scoring. I don't know why. I'm excited because I've got a new paper trimmer coming. I've been needing one for a while. I have used mine so much. Let's see here. I've had it for a few years. Okay, make sure we get that cutting blade up there out of the way. And we're going to score it at 6.5. And I already scored it at the 5.5 inch mark. So those are the only two score lines we have to do. Pretty simple. And we're just going to fold that back, and let's get our bone folder. You know what? I have got ink on my hands. I just realized that because I wonder where that mark came from on the back of the card. It came from me. Well, that's okay. Somehow I got that ink all underneath that fingernail. It looks like I've been out in the garden. Just don't look at that. Okay. So we've got that score line right there. And we're going to glue that down. But before we do, we're going to stick our ribbon in here. I've got some of this striped gold mesh ribbon. It's so pretty, so elegant. And we're just going to glue that right in there. And I say glue, but we're actually using tear and tape because I like to use tear and tape for ribbon. So we've got this double-sided sticky tape that is excellent. And we'll just put one down here at the bottom. One right here. And we'll just burnish those a little bit. And we'll peel those up. You know what I should have? My take your pick tool for that. It really does come in handy. So these ribbon links, if I didn't tell you, they are 5 1/4. I just wanted them to be long enough to tie a cute little knot. All right, so we've got those in there. Put a little glue. And if you really want to make sure they're going to hold in their place, just take your tear and tape and do a little sandwich there. Doing this completely out of order. It's another episode of what not to do. So we'll just rub that on there, rub that on there. It really does help it to stick better, you guys. I'm going about that the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so our ribbon is sandwiched in. We're going to fold that over, make sure that's straight, and then we'll press that down. Okay, so we've got that part done. Next, we are going to put our DSP down, and again, that's 7/8 by 4 1/4. So take that off. Now you can do this a couple of ways. This paper on this side has beautiful gold foil accents, and on this side it's just kind of plain. It almost looks like a little palette knife with all the different colors on there. So you can do it one of two ways, just the plain side or with a little bit of gold. And we're going to do the little bit of gold just because there is an abundance of gold on here. I'm going to do right on here so I don't have to pick that up with the glue on it. Just make sure you don't get the glue too far out to the edge because then your paper won't cover it. But it's going all the way from one edge to the other, and then it's just got a tiny margin on each edge because this is 7/8 inch wide and this folded area is 1 inch, so really it's just a 1/16 of an inch bit right there. Okay, now we're going to take this ribbon and we're just going to tie a simple knot. You're going to have a lot going on the front. And we don't want to detract from that. So we're just going to do a simple knot. You know what? It didn't stay down there. So here's a little trick if you're trying to get that to stay down, and it won't. Grab a mini glue dot. Mini glue dot is your friend when it comes to ribbon. I'm just going to pick that up. Oh my goodness. And we're just going to put that right there in the middle. And we're just going to glue that one down. This ribbon has a little bit of a mind of its own, so we'll just help it out. Now, that worked much better. Why didn't we just do that to begin with? Okay, so now we've got these long tails, and those are great if you like them. But if you want them to be a little bit shorter, just take your sharpest little pair of scissors. Snip that off. Oh, this ribbon is so pretty. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start assembling. And I'm going to put my ring, my gold ring, right here. And we're not going to glue it down yet because that's just for spacing. Now I've got several different pieces. This is white with gold embossing. That's gray granite. This is Crumb Cake. And I've also got a piece of Pecan Pie. So I was playing with all of these different colors, and I did not plan on using all of them in here, but I decided that I liked the difference. It really just kind of made it more interesting. So we're gonna go just like that. Maybe offset those just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So we're just gonna use some liquid glue. I'm not gonna pop these up. I'm just gonna liquid glue these babies down. Tell you what, just to make sure we stay on the straight and narrow, I'm gonna put this back into place. And then we'll just tuck those in. I'll do one more. This is the gray granite one. There we go. Now I've got this Pecan Pie one, and at the end we can come back and put that one on. So now we're going to do some leaves. And I've got gray granite, I've got the basic beige, and a Pecan Pie. So we've got those three. And I'm gonna kind of put those across. So right now we need to go ahead and put this down, and we're gonna do a couple of things because I don't want this thing to come off. So let's get our glue dots again. And I'm gonna take this glue dot, and I try to touch it the least amount possible because every little bit of oil from my hands will kind of negate that adhesive. So let's put that on there. Sorry, I haven't looked at my phone. I see Donna is with us. Enjoy. Hello, hello, welcome. It's fun to be on the other end watching. It's a little more stressful to be on this side, so I'm glad you guys are here with me. Okay, so we'll put that down. There we go. Now, if you want to kind of fix that down, you know, I couldn't find my tear and tape because it was back where it was supposed to be. I was looking somewhere else. All right, so I am just going to put a little bit of tear and tape right there. We're going to cover that up. Don't worry. I know it looks kind of funny, but we're going to make sure there's something over the top of that. And this one, let's put that one right there. I didn't want it too close to that edge. All right, so that should hold it down pretty good. We've got 3 glue dots and 2 tearing tapes. That should work all right. What do we want to put next? Oh yeah, these guys. So we can do one of 2 things. We can kind of glue that down, and we're going to glue these in between. So I think that's what I'm going to do. You could use glue dots if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do a little liquid glue. Oops. And we're only going to glue that right there. So I'm going to lay that on there to hold it so I can go ahead and glue the others. We don't need to spend a lot of time holding that down. So this one we'll put right there. Set that over there. A lot of times when I'm gluing things, you guys, I use punches, but that would be too big for this spot. All right, so what side did I put that on? There we go. I'll just hold on to that. That one's secure. This one is still giving me trouble. I might have to just use a glue dot. That one didn't stay down for some reason. Okay. We'll get a glue dot. So now, again, these dies are all from that Delicate Pines bundle, but I know we had some great leaf punches. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take too long to die cut all these, just grab your favorite punch and punch out some leaves. Because we've had some really cute ones that would be great for this. And if you're not into embossing, you can just stamp these. Again, you know, just stamping. Sorry, that's the wrong example. Just stamping is going to be just fine. It's this one. So you could just stamp those a darker color. You could even do espresso on there. I intended to use espresso, but then I decided to keep it a little more neutral. Okay, so we've got these and we've got our poinsettias, and we're going to do the pine cones the very last. So I've got 3 gold, and we're going to layer on. We're going to do that with some glue dots. So I'm going to take my poinsettia, and I'm just going to put that right over that glue dot right there. And then I'll pick that up. I'm going to lay it down here on this one that's just die cut out of the gold foil. And look how pretty that is. And then we're going to take this one. It's a Pecan Pie stamped poinsettia. And we're going to put that one down there. So now we've got 2 of those built. All right, so I've got one that's gold embossed on Crumb Cake. So we'll put that one on here. There we go. Okay, so there are 3, and then I've got that one in case we want another one, and this one is on gray granite. So that's gold embossed on gray granite, and that's I can't remember if that's Crumb Cake or if that's gray granite. It looks more like Crumb Cake. All right, so we're gonna put those on. Now these I am going to stick on with the dimensional because I really want those to pop up. So these are the mini dimensionals. Just going to turn these over real quick. And we'll put that on there. And you could put a couple on there if you want to make sure it's going to hold. But I want to tuck things underneath, so we're just going to do one. So I'm going to peel those off. And I'm just going to lay these kind of in place. I'm not going to glue them down yet because I want to make sure they're going to be right where I want them. Maybe right there. Maybe right there. And then we've got these pine pieces, and then we're just going to kind of tuck those in. And then these extra ones that we can even kind of layer those. Maybe layer one underneath. Yep, that's going to work really good. So we'll just put some glue right down that petal. And we're going to tuck that in. We want the other leaves to stick up, or other petals to stick up, just like that. So now we've got several of those on here. And we're going to, that's almost too much of the same color. This crumb cake one's giving me a little trouble. We'll see. So we've got, this is the pecan pie piece. So there's that one. I did one in gold too, because I thought that would be pretty. And then I did one out of basic beige. Where do we need another one? I think we need one right here. We might put another flower right there. Okay, so now let's tuck those in. So we'll get this gold piece. You know what? I think I'm gonna swap those, because that's too close to, no, I do like it better over there. So that's got glue on the back of it. I'm just gonna tuck that in. There we go. Put some glue on the back of this guy. There we go. Let's pull the pecan pie pine bough out, put a little glue on that. Gonna lift that up, make sure that gets tucked in there really well. Perfect. Okay. So now I feel like we need a little bit of something more right here. So we'll just do 2 right there. And I'm gonna put this, or I did emboss this one. So let's put that just like that. Well, too late now. I already got some glue on there. Started to say, oh no, we need a dimensional. So that one we'll just glue flat. Tear that guy in half. Put a little glue on there, a little more. A little more. And we'll just hold that. Sing your favorite song. There we go. And that little tail is going to be too much, you guys. And we'll put that, yes, that would be perfect. So you can see there's no right or wrong way to put this together. You just make up a bunch of little parts and pieces and then tuck them in wherever you think they need to be, and it's going to look fabulous. There we go. We just need to cover up that other tear and tape. Okay, now that we've got it to that point, we cannot forget our cute little pine cones. And now, you guys, I have glue on my hands, so they're probably going to stick. So I've got several little pine cones. I've got pecan pie. I've got gray granite, and we've got crumb cake. A couple more of these in case we need them. One more. So let's get some glue dots. And we'll stick these in. This one is the pecan pie one. This is another pecan pie. Those are really standing out. Those look great. Tuck that one in over here. So he's just peeking out. one is Gray Granite. We'll tuck him in over here. And then this one, I think that one's Crumb Cake. Or maybe that one. Gray Granite and Crumb Cake are really close. So we'll put that one right there. And then what do you think? Is that good? It looks maybe a little heavy down here, so we're going to take one more of these little pine boughs that we embossed with gold embossing powder. And we're going to put that right there. Okay. I think that's good. We're going to call that good. All right. Sorry, when I was moving, I didn't secure this down, so it is all loosey-goosey. So we embossed 'Tis the Season. Now this one, you guys, is not from the Delicate Pines. It's from, I think, Ornamental Christmas. Oh, help me out. So we are just going to fussy cut that. And I'm going to cut straight across that top. And then we're just going to pretend that this is die cut. And we want to maintain that same distance from our image all the way around. One quick tip when you're using, cut that off, when you're using this fussy cut method, turn your paper more than your scissors. You kind of keep your scissors in one spot and then just turn your paper and that'll kind of help guide it. Got a little closer there. But this is going to be mostly over white, so it won't be as noticeable as if we were placing this on cherry cobbler, and then it would really stand out. So it'll be a little more forgiving. Just be really gentle when you try to match that up after you take a pause. Okay, so we got that, and of course we're going to get some dimensionals and pop that up because that's just going to look the best. I did try this with Pecan Pie, and it looked pretty good too, but I wanted to get plenty of sparkle in there because we just don't have enough. So then we'll just put, you could put 'Tis the Season and tuck it down in here. I'm going to put it right smack in the middle because I want to focus on that. There we go. So there's the front of our card. So pretty and so fun. And of course, this is going to look great if you guys are more of a traditional green and gold. You could do all your pine boughs in green and stamp your poinsettias in red and then die cut those out on white. They're going to be really pretty. Look like some of those red and white varieties. So let's set this over here and we're going to do some stamping on our inside pieces. And we're going to do just this little poinsettia. What do we think? Crumb cake or let's do pecan pie. Brought the whole stack out, but we'll just do pecan pie. And again, just tap, 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 really gentle. Like I said, I inked this up really well before I started, and I think I got a little carried away. And you can do that to the envelope too. That would be really cute. And then we're going to layer that right on there. If I were making this into a more rustic rather than elegant, you could do a little splatter with your water painters in the corners over those. That would be really, really fun. I've been heavily into the splattering lately. And then this will go right in there. And there'll just be that tiny little 1/16 inch margin on that. And of course, if you want to go ahead and stamp your saying in here, you can. I'm going to leave that blank so that I can write something really, really sweet. So that's our last bit right there. So I hope you enjoyed playing with me and all the die cuts. I might try to post another version of this in the comments later on. I did have some pieces. I had so much fun playing with this and trying to decide what to use. But stamping on the pecan pie and the crumb cake with the white craft pad turned out some really interesting results too. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. And it looked really good on gray granite too. You just never know what's going to happen when you walk down into the stamp room, right? Yeah. Okay, that is all I have for y'all tonight. I've enjoyed watching all of your videos and seeing what you do. I love the elf cards that you all are posting. Those are so fun. I love those, and it's just been a great month. I can't believe it's already over. One more day. Tomorrow you guys will see Kevin. He'll have a great card, I'm sure. And come back, you know, if you get stuck making some Christmas projects, come back to this group and find some inspiration, because there's so much here. It's been a great time, and thanks for having me. Bye.